Minnesota's Medicaid fraud shocked the nation. Millions of dollars in grants going to empty daycare centers and the diversion of money from programs for autistic children. Federal prosecutors say Minnesota's Medicaid fraud could exceed $9 billion, and it may be just a fraction of a nationwide problem. Joining me now is a young man who broke this story wide open, independent journalist Nick Shirley. Nick, great to see you again. Thanks for being here. How did you first get on the story of Medicaid fraud in Minnesota?
So I learned about the fraud back in June. I had gone there for a separate video, and when I arrived there, my fans, my supporters started messaging me saying, "Nick, finally you're here to report on the fraud." And I said, "Well, what fraud's taking place?" And a lady called me for about 2 hours, and she explained about all the fraud. So for months after that, I was trying to get the information about the fraud. People knew I was trying to get the information, so the man by the name of David, he reached out to me, and he had been also doing his own investigation, and he had all the information as somebody from the state capitol had given him the public information about Nick, how much money these daycares were receiving. After
you actually photographed and videoed some of these places that obviously weren't doing what they were supposed to do for all the money that they were making, did you present it to public officials? Did you get any word at all that public officials were interested in the work that you were doing and were going to try to fix it?
Well, I published the video on YouTube, and I have been so used to uploading videos every single week on YouTube, so I didn't realize the impact it was going to have. And so that's why you saw the reaction afterwards, because I just pretty much dropped the fraud bomb, and everyone else had to react to it. And you saw how these governors, these congresswomen reacted. They actually defended the fraud and called people like me a far-right delusional conspiracy theorist.
It's extraordinary. And then they were up in Congress trying to explain why they let so much fraud go by without calling it. We want to expand it, though, beyond Minnesota, because you've got bigger fish to fry now, in California in particular. What have you found in California?
Well, in California, the hospice fraud's obviously rampant. Everyone knows about that. And that's been confirmed by the federal government. Dr. Oz is the one who exposed that first, and I went in and showed people firsthand how these fraudsters are living, right? And these daycares as well. I mean, they receive over $6 billion for a program called CalWorks, and it's been audited that it's estimated that 1.6% of that money is fraudulent, which then accumulates to $100 million. If you around $100 million. And then with the hospice fraud, nobody knows why there has been an increase of $100 billion in Medi-Cal. Their budget has gone up $100 billion. Meanwhile, the enrollment and the population of California has not gone up.
That's incredible. A final question, very quickly. Have you noticed any similarity? I noticed in one of your videos you went into a daycare center, and of course there were no children there. It was typical of what you saw in Minnesota. It was also run by a Somalian. Was there anything different in what you saw, or any similarities between what you were seeing in California and Minnesota?
Yeah, so there are very many similarities. One, there's no kids there. However, here in California, these people, there's over 35,000 licensed daycare facilities inside of California. These people are underneath a different program, and what they're doing is they're creating these daycares, and then they're living off of government subsidies. So these houses will have these daycares in the middle of a neighborhood, and these families are completely living off government subsidies off of the 10 kids that they have enrolled.
Nick, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.